Welcome to Your Financial Future. My name is Ms. Grise, and I'm the one who teaches the personal finance electives. Your Financial Future is broken into 3 term electives: financial planning, banking and credit, and saving and investing. The Term 1 elective, financial planning, is a junior-senior level class designed to prepare students to make financial decisions in their personal lives. The course helps students realize that they are already making financial decisions and shows them how those decisions impact their future. Term 1 topics include the financial planning process, preparation and analysis of financial documents like net worth statements, budgets or spending plans, and money management strategies. We also learn how to prepare taxes and look at different tax strategies. And then we finish with insurance and risk management. This term elective also includes a section on how to pay for college and how to finance a car. The Term 2 elective is banking and credit. In this part of the course, students will be introduced to the banking and credit industries. Students will learn how to select and use financial services such as savings and checking accounts. They'll also learn about the advantages and disadvantages of using credit, and how to avoid falling victim to the credit crisis that seems to plague our culture. During Term 2, students will learn how to identify types of financial services available to them, learn about different financial institutions, like banks and credit unions, learn about how to develop a savings plan, how to manage their checking account, learn about consumer credit, how to identify factors to consider when choosing different forms of credit and credit cards, and how to build and protect their credit rating, and how to protect themselves against fraud and identity theft. And then finally, ways to manage debt. The final elective that they'll take is saving and investing. In this course, students will learn about investing and how it can help them reach their financial goals. In this part of the course, students will learn about various investment alternatives such as stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, with an emphasis on mutual funds and index funds, and how to obtain investment information for each. Students will then use this information to help them prepare an investment portfolio. Some topics that are covered during Term 3 include how to establish goals for saving and investment programs, learning about the factors that affect investments, identifying the main types of investment programs, identifying different types of investments, discussing the factors that affect those investments, and how to buy and sell those investments. This part of the course will also include strategies for short and long-term investments with an emphasis on long-term investment strategies. And then a section on retirement planning and an emphasis on 401ks and IRAs. Each class period will begin with an interactive lecture on a Nearpod where students will input data and information to interact with the lecture. Then they will complete an assignment and submit it to Schoology for feedback and collaboration. These assignments might include quiz games, mathematical calculations, interactives, and simulations. I'm going to take you into some of the interactives and simulations that we're going to use in the class. Throughout the course, I will use some curriculum from Next Gen Personal Finance, which is a nonprofit dedicated to educating young people about personal finance. Some of their simulations include Payback and Stacks. These are both ones that I use in my class. Payback is about paying for college. The students will go in and select a college and select a college major, and then make decisions about how they're going to live for the next 4 years. And at the end of the game, it will tell them what they can expect their college loan debt to be based on their inputs, and then what their expected income might be based on their college major that they input. And sometimes the students see that there's a disproportionate amount of debt in relation to what they're going to make in the major, which leads to discussion, which is very productive. An investing game called Stacks The kids go in and they get to pick their investments, and they play against a computer. The little piggy bank pig is the computer, and they get to choose what they're going to invest in: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and commodities like gold and real estate. And then at the end of the game, they get to see if they could beat the pig or not. And I'm going to tell you the key here is that the students like to invest in all kinds of things, and they want to put their money everywhere, and they end up speculating, pretty much is what happens. And the pig usually wins because the pig invests in a mutual fund, which is really diversified, and he wins the game pretty much every time. Don't tell your students that that's what happens, but that is what happens. And then we talk about that at the end. Another resource that I like to use in the second term of the banking and credit elective is the online bank account simulator. It simulates what a real bank account would look like, and then I have them do activities based on this information. I'm going to click on account activity, and you can see it. It looks like a real bank account, and the kids can do any of the things that they would do in an online bank account for real, but it's in a simulated environment. The final interactive I'm going to show you today is FinViz. I use this in the investing part of the class, and this is the S&P 500. At this time, it's about 12:48 p.m. On the 17th of September, and this is what the market looks like in real time. You can see that there's different size blocks in the different sectors. I'm in the technology sector. You can see that Microsoft and Apple are the biggest leaders in this market, and that helps the kids to visualize how big these companies really are. They're much bigger than some of the other companies in their sector. It also gives a quick version of what the market is doing. At the current time of day, the market is very much down. You see a lot of red. The red indicates a net loss in the stock price for that time period that we're in right now. And the green indicates that the company's stock is up and what percentage it's up by. So this gives the kids a way to look at different industries in real time, see what's going on. And every time they come in this, it's going to look slightly different. So we can see right now industrials is doing well, and the rest of the market today is not doing so well. And so there's an activity that the kids will do to analyze the S&P 500. So these are some of the resources that I like to use in the class. As you can see, I use a different variety of resources to show kids about how to use the financial products that are out there in the world, and to give them a real world experience. So what it feels like if they were doing these things in the real world. The simulations really help to provide that feeling of the real world experience. And I'm hoping by the end of the class that your students will have a broader sense of how these products work, how to save for the future, and how the decisions they make now or in their early 20s are going to impact the way they live in their future. And hopefully they will make the wisest decisions possible.